It's not that easy. No, it's not that easy. Hey guys, so for this week's video, I thought it might be fun to kind of take a step back from kind of some of the more serious things we've been talking about with runner's knee and things like that in the last few weeks, and take a little look at some of the behind the scenes setup process happenings when it comes to creating the Diz Runs With podcast. So this here is the office area. You recognize the backdrop as also the video recording area, but this is where all of the podcasting takes place. When I'm recording the audio parts of the podcast, things kind of take a little turn towards bootleg around here because I set up my cheap microphone in my sound stage by covering it with a bandana and wrap it in a towel to try to help to eliminate some of the echoes and ambient noises that I used to pick up a lot. It took a lot of trial and error to figure this method out, but it beats spending a couple $100 on equipment if I don't have to, right? But recording the episodes and chatting with the awesome guests that I am able to talk to on the show, those are the fun parts. That's the sexy time when it comes to podcasting. But there's so much more that goes on behind the scenes that isn't quite as glamorous as the actual part that you get to witness every time you listen to the show. So I'll go through and listen to the show again, making sure that there's nothing that needs to be taken out, editing out some of the pre-show banter that goes back and forth between my guest and myself, and also anything that happens after the show is over when we still talk. And I tend to leave that recording just in case there's something that I need to refer back to later. Also, while I'm listening, I go ahead and write the show notes for each episode so that while it's fresh in my mind, I'm able to make some notes and kind of point out the highlights of each and every episode. But the fun doesn't stop there. I also create a custom cover art for each episode. Then I take the edited file, upload it to my media host, hit publish, and the show goes out to the world. So that's pretty much it for the process of creating each episode of the Diz Runs With podcast. I don't know how people that do a 5 or 7 day a week show do it. I have my hands full just doing 2 shows a week. So the next time that you listen to an episode of my podcast or anybody's podcast, I hope you realize that there's a lot more work going on behind the scenes than you could ever understand, unless, of course, you start your own podcast at some point in the not too distant future. Don't you know how hard it is for me to smile and say goodbye? It's not that easy, no.